Thank you very much. Maybe let me make this issue more specific. Before I give the floor to our guests, you mentioned developing a financial economic system, the topic of common currency, facilitating payments, payment systems. Were those topics discussed? Because the sanctions against Russia, against Iran that had been imposed by the West, they are in the way, interfering with the trade between our countries. So any of the countries among BRICS members is in danger of coming under secondary sanctions. I mentioned earlier on that those topics were in the agenda. Those are challenging matters. We all agree that those issues couldn't be resolved overnight, very quickly. Nobody is talking about, I often hear, but some people claim, people apparently not particularly familiar with BRICS discussions, we're not talking about creating a single currency of BRICS, no. It's more maybe about being able to setting up a mechanism or some preconditions for a system of trade with the use of national currencies, which would make it possible to conduct a barrier-free trade so that the big brother would not be in a position to control us or control where our money, which way our money moves, and also so that there would be no opportunity to use illegitimate one-sided sanctions. We're probably ahead of everyone now in terms of the number of sanctions that had been imposed against us. We know that in terms of the current increasing confrontations, such sanctions, illegitimate sanctions, are applied as part of the economic fight against economic struggle against China, and each of us, we are aware that we stand to suffer from this, and so it's important here, without promoting BRICS is not about confrontation. No, we're not saying that we are opposing anybody. We're not opposing anybody. Somebody may not like us, but that doesn't mean that we are against anybody. We have countries here that cooperate really well with Western states, so we're not aiming confrontation, but we need to ensure our economic development. It's a challenging path. As I mentioned, there was a discussion of financial system. There was discussion of possible tools and mechanisms. We'll continue this. We have no magical pill here that would be able to resolve this issue. But of course, as part of the Council of Expert Centers, we'll definitely have a whole sector in our expert council who are dealing with this set of issues. And I think that even in terms of preparing such monitoring, will be in parallel with officials will be continue our conversations with relevant experts from BRICS countries about which way to move, in which direction, in order to ensure a sovereign economic development, barrier-free trade, which would not be impeded by other countries and financial exchange.
Of course, our academic circle also have many other issues, like is it possible for us to have a common currency? I believe it is good to have such an academic discussion on such issues, but for it to become the policy and the reality, that we still need a long way to go. That depends on the further integration and the further discussion of our agenda.
Yeah, thank you.